Hey comic friends, I'm Travis, and it's new comic book day! Yay! Or at least new comic book day for me. This is actually comics for this week, so 2 videos of new comics in 1 week. Because, hey, mail service is working like it's supposed to this week. At any rate, I want to say 18 comics for some reason this time around. My invoice doesn't tell me how many comics I got. 13, 18, something like that. 2 bundles here. Let me get the rubber band off of them. We'll jump into what's here. I have no idea. Lots of backing boards today. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, I'm not even sure what comics I got. Ooh, Black Science, issue number 36. As always, love this book. All about the art. Good story, though, too. I don't know what's next. If they're going to stay with Grant, or if we're going to jump with Pia and her brother. I'm not sure exactly what we're gonna get, or if we're gonna get the story of the mistress, because last issue kind of dealt with that and was really intriguing. So who knows that. So Batman issue number 48, the best man. So we're gonna get into the Joker part of this. We got 2 issues, 48, 49. 50 is supposed to be the wedding issue. So I'm looking forward to getting back on track with the real Batman story as opposed to that weird Booster Gold story we had for a bit. So, looking forward to this. For sure, for sure. And, new Marvel book. This is the Immortal Hulk, issue number 1. I'm getting this because it's kind of was billed as potentially being kind of a horror story. Everybody still thinks that the Hulk is dead, that Bruce Banner is dead from all the event stuff that's been happening. So it's back to him kind of wandering the United States or whatever, and I'm really curious about it. I like Al Ewing as a writer quite a bit. Not familiar on the artist necessarily, so for that. But anyway, so issue number 1 of the Immortal Hulk, a Marvel book. Wow, huh? Okay, Justice League. This is issue number 1. This is the main Justice League book. A new era begins. The Scott Snyder written. This is Chung doing art on this issue. It looks like it has most of our standard affair in here as far as heroes go. So the new Justice League looks to be Martian Manhunter, Hawk Woman, or is it Hawk Girl? I'm not sure which it is. John Stewart, Green Lantern, which is awesome. That's my Green Lantern as far as I'm concerned. Of course, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman with the beard, the Flash, and Cyborg. So I kind of like this team. I'm curious because, of course, Wonder Woman also, as my understanding, is the leader of Justice League Dark, which will be coming out pretty soon. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes, what it's going to be, what kind of a story we're going to get. Scott Snyder writing a team book. I hope it's not Batman-centric. Everything he does seems to be Batman-centric, so we'll see. Death and Glory issue number 2. Wasn't super excited about issue number 1. I just really wasn't that hooked. So we'll see if issue 2 actually hooks me or not. Great art in it, but wasn't really hooked by the story. So we'll see what issue 2 brings. Deathstroke and Batman issue number 32. I think this is like issue 3 of the whole Batman Deathstroke, whose kid is Damian shenanigans. So far, I haven't been like really engrossed in this. Last issue was, I don't know, it was about, the story seemed to be more about Deathstroke's equipment than it had to do with the whole Damian aspect of it, except for the very, very end. We get Talia. Show up at the end of it with some implication about who Damian, really is. I'm not buying it. But yeah, this will be the halfway point, and I think at this point, the halfway point, I should decide whether or not I got suckered into buying something that I probably could have easily ignored or not. So, issue number 3 of Isola. I still do not like this graphic at all. The art in it is wonderful, and it is a curious story. There's lots of silent moments in it, lots of, just the artwork and the paneling is what's telling us the story of this soldier, this woman who's a soldier. She's protecting her queen. Her queen, for some reason, has been turned into this blue tiger. and maybe the tiger slipping more and more into being a tiger and less into being the queen. They're trying to sneak back to Isola, I believe, is where they're attempting to go to fix the queen, maybe. There's all kinds of tribesmen and stuff that potentially put her at risk. There's this kind of monk wizard guy who's kind of potentially tricked the queen into maybe going where the queen shouldn't go and out of the protection of the soldier. So really great art and an interesting story. I'm enjoying it, but like I said, I do not like the font of that book at all. So here we got Jazz Maynard. This is issue number, what is it? Number 5 of volume 2. In stereo, Panorama Vision Hi-Fi Adventure. This is the Three Crows Part 1. I think the last issue was the first issue of this I read. I really enjoyed it. Really liked the art. It kind of set up like what was going to be the next story, which I guess is what they're entitling this. I think this is written in volumes of like 6 to 8 issues. So I would assume this is, issue number 4 will be the halfway point. Issue number 5, halfway point of a trade. So we're going to get this, Three Crows story. Lots of jazz references in the book, which I dug. Kind of a super spy, super thief kind of a deal. Lots of it I really enjoyed. But the one thing I probably didn't enjoy quite so much is the stereotypically large-chested women all the way through it. Not that the characters didn't have value, just that why do they all have to have that look? Other than the whole James Bond aspect of it, which I guess would make a certain amount of sense, right? From that part of it. Anyway, what else we got here? Shade the Changing Woman. Issue number 4. We're on the downhill swing of the final of Shade the Changing Woman because it ends at issue 6. I have really been enjoying the book. I look forward to whatever these creators are doing next. Let's see where this adventure takes us. Clearly here, she's really looking more like a woman. Whereas in the last issues, she has been still closer to her girl form than a woman, it feels to be like. But here, clearly, this picture shows her as being more of that. Next up, we have Shipwrecked. Holy crap! Shipwreck, Warren Ellis, Phil Hester, issue number 6. What, this is like 9, 10 months late? Is this the end of a story? Is it the end of an arc? Is it, I don't know what. Really looking forward to reading it, though. Awesome to have it back. Is it done? I have no idea. Complex, interesting, intriguing, sci-fi-esque kind of a book about a scientist who's part of a program and possibly did some dimensional jumping because their Earth resources were wearing out, so they're trying to find another dimensional Earth that they can basically mine or move everybody from the dying Earth to a new Earth. The Earth that our main character is in is a shell of itself kind of thing. Lots of kind of weird stuff going on. Very Warren Ellis. Anyway, great art by Phil Hester. I think Phil Hester might be back to inking his own work here. When he started this out, Phil Hester was actually doing it with one eye because he had cornea transplants because he was losing his vision. So that's interesting at the beginning of it. Anyway, so very excited to have that back. That's crazy. That's crazy that Shipwreck's back. Wow. Okay, final issue of Exit Stage Left Snagglepuss, which has been an excellent story. The only criticism I have is I don't know that they've necessarily utilized the Hanna-Barbera character in the way that we've seen some of the other long story uses of the Hanna-Barbera characters, or maybe it's just the fact that it's the same writer who did the Flintstones, and they used the wire hanger of the Flintstones very well as a way to tell the stories they want to tell, and it's less so in this, but still has been very good. I'm curious to see where it ends at. So, and Dazzler, it's 2 Marvel books in 1 week. How about that? So this is a Dazzler one-shot. This is a Bill Sekowitz cover, which I absolutely love. Dazzler's just kind of a fun character. If they're doing a one-shot, I'm going to pick it up and check it out because I kind of like the character. And it's fun, and I'm curious to see where all they might use her at and whatnot. So, yeah, very much looking forward to checking that out. And it's a fun cover. I like the sequence cover. Next up we have Koshiki, the Deathless. Can't say this, the title, to save my life. Issue number 6. We're going to get the end story for this. I would suspect that unless this ends in some really kind of crazy way. There's Hellboy down at the bottom. That there's potential to have more story here because this guy went on lots of adventures. So there's plenty of room for him just to kind of keep telling stories if they wanted to. So with the Ben Steinbeck art, it's been brilliant. And of course, the Magnolia covers just makes for all around good comic. Speaking of excellent comics, of course, Paper Girls is back, issue number 21. I look forward to diving back into this. I'm not sure what century we're in at this point. Yeah, very much looking forward to whatever these girls get into. It's just been really, really cool, really, really fun. A book I really enjoyed a lot. I loved the Philip K. Dickness of it. I know some other people didn't think it was as strong as what I thought it was. I really enjoyed it. Wasted Space. This is issue number 2. I like the beginning of the first one, the waxing philosophical as one of our characters is floating space, kind of going over where his life has been and where it potentially could go. He is a washed up messiah, and there is a new messiah arising, and this new messiah is a cosmic threat. So a washed up messiah that everybody sees as a washed up messiah, and quite frankly, some people want to see him dead or thrown in prison. How is he going to go about saving the universe from this cosmic event that's going to happen when he is also hated for supposedly being the first ones of these Messiah type things and whatnot. So I look forward to seeing what all that entails. And then finally, it is Gravediggers Union. This is issue number 7. Another prophet. This one is bringing the end of the world. With ghost tornadoes and stuff like that. This magical sword, a space monkey that she is supposed to execute, and then it's going to basically bring up the equivalent of the old ones from like the Chthonian type mythos. That's sort of a style of a monster supposed to come and annihilate the earth, and of course the cultists that help will have a great standing in the destruction of whatever's left over. Which you'd think if they would think that through, that never makes any sense. It never would seem to come out in your favor, but you know that's what zealots do, right? So anyway, written by Wes Craig, the artist for Deadly Class. He usually does a couple pages at the very beginning of this kind of setup of prehistory for this whole thing, and then the rest of it is done pencils by the wonderful Toby Cypress, and then colored by Gerarda, and it is just super top notch. The coloring on it is just really cool. It just adds up, it's layers of interesting colors and patterns and stuff on top of the wonderfully interesting Toby Cypress art. So yeah, very much looking forward to reading that, as always, just for the eye candy, if nothing else. Plus, the fact it's just kind of a fun kind of a thing. The Grave Diggers Union is a secret society of grave diggers who fight back the supernatural to keep the earth safe and happy. Anyway, that's it. These are books that I will be talking about next week, next Saturday on the Comic Book Roundtable. I don't foresee there being anything that keeps that from happening. I just barely started reading last week's books because of how late they came in the mail. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you next week.